out a new series this morning, What Lurks? From kitchens to cabs, doorknobs to handrails, germs are impossible to avoid, of course. Every surface we touch is a breeding ground for bacteria. But when we take a closer look, what germs will we actually find? First up, what's lurking in our kitchens and bathrooms? We hate to think about it, but science doesn't lie. Germs are everywhere.
Our hands pick up bacteria and they leave those bacteria behind on the next thing we touch.
The first line of defense, hand washing. But a study released this week showed that although the number of people washing up increased, not everyone does it. After going to a public restroom, 85% of adults wash their hands, leaving plenty of germs still lurking. With swabs and test tubes ready, microbiologist Joe Rubino went on the hunt. First, the bathroom.
Every point that you touch with your hands is what I'm going to say. Once someone uses the toilet, they're going to wash their hands. We would expect that we're going to find bacteria on here because it is the first thing you touch. And you see, pull off some soil on here, whether or not that's bacteria's on there or not, we'll see.
From your home to your office, there's no escape from the biggest germ hotspot, the kitchen.
We find more dangerous bacteria in the kitchen than we do in the bathroom. Food comes in contaminated with these bacteria like E. coli or salmonella.
Wet places like the sink are a breeding ground for bacteria.
The drain is one of the areas where you get a lot of bacteria growing because it's always wet, and you can see that some stuff came off. The sponge is always the most heavily contaminated object in the kitchen because it's the one thing that is always being used to clean up.
So for a little more about what we found lurking, here with the lab results, microbiologist Joe Rubino. Joe, good morning. It's great to see you.
Good morning, Lester.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Let's start with the sponge.
Okay.
Why is that such a germ magnet?
Well, I like to call the sponge the condo for germs. It has plenty of food, it's wet, there's a lot of nooks and crannies, and anytime you use it, clean it up, you're picking up germs and they're going to grow in there.
And what did you find in them?
Well, we found a lot of bacteria. We found a bacteria called Klebsiella and Serratia. These are kind of bacteria you might find on raw foods or like vegetables or meats.
So maybe toss it in the microwave from time to time to clean your sponge?
The best way, microwave or dishwasher, anytime you use a dishwasher.
You found the same bacteria in the drain, the faucet handle, the refrigerator door. What does that tell us when the way bacteria spread? I mean, can you avoid it when it's being...
Well, what it tells me is that sponge was contaminated, probably cleaning up some food material, and then it was used maybe to wipe the refrigerator, or somebody touched it and then touched the faucet handle, and they transferred the bacteria all around the kitchen.
Okay, the kitchen we saw was an office kitchen. But you also tested a home kitchen. Did you find similar types of bacteria?
Yes, I did. I actually found very similar types of bacteria. First thing I tested was a package of chicken that was thawing in the sink, and I found this very similar, same bacteria on the package of chicken and also in the sink and in the sink drain.
Would you expect to find these things in a kitchen that otherwise appears tidy and clean?
Oh yeah. You can't see germs. Sometimes even the cleanest kitchens are contaminated with bacteria.
So there's a lesson to be learned here about the way germs spread.
Yes, you can't see them spread, but you have to be aware of the types of material like food that will spread germs in a kitchen. So the juices that are associated with, say, with raw chicken and beef are contaminated with bacteria. They get on our hands or wherever that food is placed, and it will contaminate it. You can't see it.
Speaking of raw chicken, you did not find E. coli and salmonella in this case. But the potential, I suspect, is there.
Yes, the potential's there. I didn't find it. Salmonella, for example, takes a little bit more laboratory manipulation to find it. We didn't go to that point. But the kind of bacteria we found is an indication that salmonella could have been there.
The bathroom we saw you testing in was a public bathroom.
Yes.
What did you find there?
Well, actually, it was quite surprising. It was quite clean. The only bacteria I found were the kind of bacteria that would be associated with our skin, Staphylococcus epidermidis, which is a harmless skin bacteria.
I always say you wash your hands and you dry them, and then you can open up the door handle to get out. Well, should you touch it or should you use your elbow?
Use your elbow. Don't touch it. What I do is I'll use a paper towel that I dry my hands with and use that to open up the door.
It seems like a little overkill, but
But yes, but you know what? All these little practices do help us stay healthy, especially now.
Yeah. You also tested home bathrooms. Did you find similar results?
I found similar types of bacteria in the wet areas, drain, and also in the shower area. And the shower is a great home for bacteria. It's always wet or damp, or mostly. And all that bacteria in our bodies, we wash it off, and it just gets deposited in the shower.
You have really described a story of transference. Everything is, where you touch and move and touch this. What are some general rules we should keep in mind?
Well, first know that in the kitchen, raw meats and poultry coming into your kitchen are contaminated with bacteria. Be aware of wash your hands before, during, and after you're preparing a meal. Once that chicken goes into the oven, the heat will kill any bacteria, salmonella, but any juices that are left behind, make sure no other foods come in contact with it. Make sure you clean, sanitize, disinfect those surfaces before you prepare something like a salad or cut some bread or some other food that you're not going to heat, because the heat kills bacteria.
It's fascinating. Joe Rubino, thanks for. I think a fist bump is perfect there.
Absolutely.
Nice to have you on. And tomorrow, what's lurking in public places, from elevator buttons to cabs to the ATM? What we found coming up tomorrow. Up next here, Dak Shepard from the NBC hit Parenthood. But first, this is